First of all, I'd like to give greetings to those of you who remember or know David and Miriam Beachy. They went to Iowa for a family reunion, but they really wanted to be here. Just some of the highlights of our time in Paraguay, and from 1985 to 89. When we came home from taking Simon and Elsie to the airport, Andy was there to hook up the transformer, and we finally had electricity from the line instead of coming from Paul Eichhorn across the field. One of the first jobs that I had, along with Harlan, and we had some help from Elmer, was that we had a cow that had cancer, and Simon's had been treating it, and he said, you really do need to just take care of that cow. So we won't give you all the details, but the cow died. And then the workers dug a hole and buried it. And the cow's name was Helen, I think. Harlan was really good at naming all the cows. And so then, after a while, we had Mount St. Helens eruption. There were over 1,600 births born, babies born in the 4 years that we were there. So I guess during Loyal's time, they got more. Just a few inside jokes here. It was also during that time that gladly the cross-eyed bear showed up. You'd have to ask some of the, Sarah could tell you about that. But we had some tragedies during those 4 years, and one of those was when Elmer Detweiler's house burned, and I can still remember that evening when Stevie came tearing in our driveway, and I think Esther was, she just heard it was Stevie's cycle, and she could tell by the way he was coming into the driveway that something was terribly wrong. So I went over and picked up Clara, and I just, and the youngest boy, and I just remember she said that was Irvin, right? Vernon was inside the house. He had been burned. The flames were coming out of the upstairs windows when I picked her up. She had burned herself some, and I was taking her back to the clinic. And she said, I just thought probably he made it out somewhere, and he had been in the shower, and I thought, well, maybe he was just out in the bushes somewhere. It didn't soak in that he had died. And I forget exactly what she said, and I just realized, she thinks he died, and he had. That was a very tragic evening. Then there were quite a few. Some of our babies died during that time. Phil's Lila's baby, Ruben and Naomi's baby, and we lost 2 girls during that time as well. And for a while we thought that Paraguay made a soft drink that was grape, but to us, and there was this billboard in Asuncion that said grape, el sabor de Paraguay, and to us it looked like grief was the flavor of Paraguay. But we praise the Lord that after we came home, then God gave us 4 healthy children. They're not here today, but we praise God for that. We had lots of rain and mud, and particularly one weekend, or 1 week, I guess, and Harlan and Esther got married that weekend. And it was so muddy that Naomi made the cake, and we delivered that on the back of the wagon with the tractor, and kind of slid around the corner. And I had the privilege of taking the bride and groom to the reception on the back of the tractor and trailer. It was about that same weekend when the golpe took place, when President Stroessner was kicked out, and some of the visitors weren't sure if they could leave the country, but things did go well then. I remember, I think it was David Ciani went over and listened on the radio and about what they were broadcasting during that time, and there was this martial music coming over, and just this announcement just over and over was repeated. about that the Stroessner isn't a safe place. But I remember seeing the terror and the neighbors' faces when they thought of someone that they just didn't know anything else except Stroessner, and just remember that very clearly. Some very other important things that happened during that time was the church at Primera Línea was built, and that became a very kind of a place for, even though the clinic staff was always involved in the church in the colony, it was closer, and it's kind of it wasn't a clinic church, but it felt a little bit more like that to us, even though the colony was in charge of it. We redid the orchard during that time. John, you planted lots of fruit trees, and those were getting to be pretty old, and we had an orchard man from Pennsylvania there, so we redid the orchard at that time. And it was during that time that AMA started providing the teachers for the colony church as well. Benny Byler in particular took an interest in the school in the colony.